Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hold On Till Dawn podcast. I'm your host, Erin, and today I have a very special guest with me. It's Alexz Johnson.
I'm thrilled to be here, and I'd love to hear what's been going on in your world with Hold On Till Dawn since I last saw you guys and experienced it in person, which was amazing and such a
Yeah, I
memory.
can't believe it's been 6 whole months since the concert, and I don't know where the time went. Like, those 6 months went by so fast.
I know, it's weird.
It's crazy. And that night was amazing. It was like everything I dreamed of. I loved meeting you. It was amazing to meet you all and listen to you live. But I wanted to ask you, like, what was your experience like on the other side of it?
I just was, it was really, it just felt special. Like it felt like a special little moment in time to be able to shine a light on such a dark topic. I feel like that's for me what Hold On Till Dawn represents. It's like shining a light on where the darkness is, and it's, to me, um it was a celebration of that. Like, you kind of go into these experiences with your own trauma from the past and experiences that you've had in your life. You go into these endeavors thinking, oh, is this going to be, am I going to be overwhelmed with emotion? But really, I was just so overwhelmed and like just filled with so much joy to be able to be a part of such a beautiful initiative. Like it was just, and the people were wonderful. The audience was so receptive, and obviously like the little loot bags and just everything was really, was really done really, really well. And I also kudos to you and the team, because since COVID, I think it's been really difficult getting people out of their comfort zones. I'm noticing myself with such a long history of touring through so many different seasons of my life. I'm just noticing a real hit on ticket sales, in the sense of like people, they have access to live streams every month. I do a live stream on Patreon. There's so much interaction happening now with social media, with podcasts, with Instagram live. Like, I feel like fans can really get their fill. So what used to be like in 2016, this desire to go and see your favorite artist play and buy a VIP ticket and meet them and support whatever initiative they're a part of, it's really gone by the wayside with how accessible
Yes.
we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here going, no, buy a ticket to my show. Like, this tour needs to keep going. Like, the expenses that go into the accommodation and paying the band and the van rental and flights and gear and everything that goes into running a tour. It's like,
Yeah.
I need you to buy a $25 ticket. Like, just buy a $25 ticket and do it. Come out and
Yeah.
support. And I think it was just, it's a prime example, I find, just when it comes to the people that are choosing to make it a priority to come out and support. It's so important, and I'm so appreciative of every person that just decides, like, I'm going to leave the comfort zone of my COVID nest, right, to come
Yeah.
out and support. So I'm finding that people are just starting to kind of want to go out and experience life again.
Yeah, I totally agree. Ticket sales for the concert was the most difficult part for me, and I was like, maybe it was because I priced the tickets too high because it was like $50, but it was because most of it was going to charity. And now that you're saying like yours are 25 and you're still having a hard time, it's like it's crazy that that is still a thing, because once COVID was like starting to go away a little bit, I immediately was like, I want to do all the things. Like, I want to go to a concert again because it had been so long. So it's so disappointing and sad that there are so many people that are still like, no, I'm just gonna stay like in my bubble.
It's a weird little valley that we're in, because I'm not, like, the streaming services have not, like, we haven't rallied and like gone on strike. I mean, maybe like Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, but like there hasn't been like a big artist strike on the streaming services and how they distribute the pay to the artists. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm making nothing on streaming services. I'm not a YouTube star, so my YouTube earnings are like nothing. And then I rely on my shopalexz.com to sell direct music to my fan base, which is great. That's like a steady stream of like fans can get merchandise and music, and that's direct from me. But then I also, one of the biggest aspects of me maintaining a music career is people buying tickets to my show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, if there isn't a resurgence of that, of people wanting to participate in live music, I don't know how artists like me are actually going to continue doing this. Like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to actually put on shows and travel to play shows for people.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's
Oh,
the
that's
point if no
horrible.
one's going to
That's so
be?
horrible.
So it's like an interesting, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and also with TikTok, now it's like TikTok's being controlled by the majors. So they're just little snippets of songs. So you're not getting the full song. And then also, like, TikTok, and a TikTok artist who doesn't come from my history of artistry, who's just good at using TikTok and out there doing their thing. It's definitely an amazing skill, but it's in a completely different category than like
Yes, absolutely.
touring artists.
Mhm.
So how do we differentiate those? Like, I'm supposed to become a TikTok phenomenon overnight? How? Like, I don't, it's not my generation. Like, the app
Right.
isn't even accessible to me, and I'm only 37 years old. So it's like, what are we supposed to do? And it's not talked about enough in the music industry. It really is like an interesting place to be. So all we can do is just moving forward, keep moving forward, and knowing that the message behind what you're doing is what matters. And the pendulum always swings, they say, but it really is. It's so crazy.
How was when you went on tour for Europe, was that sales experience any easier?
Yeah, that was actually really, really great because I don't play Europe ever. So it was kind of like this feeling of, I've been able to, that's a testament, I guess, to my persistence as an indie artist, and like my, not giving up and continuing to put out content and music and just showing up for my fan base. I find that it was cool to see so many of my fans from so many years ago and from my TV background and come out to see me play. That was really, really cool. And that was a really amazing experience, obviously, making it also a vacation with my family. So even if it just broke even for the cost of everything and everything that went into it, it still was worth it, because it was just such an amazing memory. And to say that you could like have a free holiday, like if I just broke even, it's basically having a free holiday and
Yeah.
taking time off work to take your kids to Europe, but you're working. So that was kind of in my mind, like what made it totally worth it. But yeah, it was really cool. I'm always hanging on and holding on for my fans, because they've been with me for so long. And that's why I have interest in, I have to also be smart and think about my future and like all the work I've put into my career, from acting to music. I need to think about where my creative desires want to take me in my life. Like, I mean, I do see myself writing. I'd love to write a book or two in my life. I'd love to do a podcast and share my experiences in music and independence, like learning, a real resource in what I've learned being indie. I'd love to share that with the world as I get older. I don't want to continue struggling for the next 15 years of my
Yeah,
life.
that's a lot.
Right? So just thinking how I can use it in a smart way, all of my experiences, and make it really work for me, but also work for everyone who's a fan of me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's good when these things happen in life because you grow and you learn and you adapt. Like, look at you, you're adapting. Right?
Yeah. So you start tour on the 24th, is that right?
Mhm.
And you're hitting 18 different cities in 1 month or less than a month.
Well, I'm playing 21 shows. Yeah, in 29 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. You must be looking forward to, besides the ticket sales aspect, excited to come out and play and meet all your fans in these different US cities.
Yeah, it's going to be really it like intimate. It's I have like a stripped down kind of like me, another electric guitarist on stage and some keys. I think it's going to be really rejuvenating. I think the shows are going to be, I'm in such a different place in my life since I last toured the States. I've had kids, I've experienced major loss. I feel like I'm just a completely different artist. And I think it will be really fun sharing that with my fans, old and new. I think that'll be really fun. It's also just been so much work to get here. Um, I just want it here now. Like a part of me wants to like when you and you know what this is like. This tour has taken about, you know, 10 months of my life every day planning.
Wow.
So planning a tour is like planning 21 weddings. So
That's
it's
a
a
lot.
lot. It's a lot of work. And it's a lot of work too, when you're trying to be present with your children as they're growing so quick and their routines and schedules. And it's a lot, but it's, yeah, a part of me is very much looking forward to just getting in it and doing it and being there, because there's just so much that goes behind the scenes. Once you're on the road, it's easy. Once you're on the road, everything's been done. You're just paying
Yeah.
attention. So you just don't get sick. That's the biggest thing on tour. Right?
Yeah, I gotta stay healthy.
Yeah.
Have you been to all the cities that you're going to before?
No, there's a couple I haven't been to. Like I played where I've not played Kentucky. Um, I don't believe I've played Iowa, and I haven't played Oklahoma City. Um, and I don't think I've played Austin. I played South by South. Oh no, I have played Austin. I played Stubbs in Austin. Yeah. So there's just a couple places I haven't played before, but other places I'm really looking forward to playing again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting. And Andrew and I are really excited to see you in Philly. So
Oh,
that's
awesome.
the
I
28th.
love I love that venue, Milk Boy.
I don't think I've ever been. I was trying to think of it. I mean, I've only lived in this area for about 11 years, but I don't think I've ever seen a show there before.
Yeah,
So
it's a
I'm
really good
excited.
venue. Yeah, the people there are really, it's nice when venues are really professional too, and you feel like they're doing the work on their end too.
Yeah, absolutely. So since this podcast is a little bit about music and a little bit of mental health, I kind of asked you this like 6 months ago when we did our Instagram live, but I want to kind of touch on it again. When you're having a bad day or going through a rough time, what is something you do to help you pull yourself out of it?
I try to get outside and do something positive, whether that be something positive for myself, like go on a nice walk, or fit in a good stretch, a good yoga, even at home, just throwing my mat down, even when the kids are climbing all over me, just closing my eyes, taking some deep breaths, and just trying to do something positive. I don't let the emotion of pain and darkness envelop me. I feel like it's there and it exists, and it's important that it exists, but I think it's, every day you have to continue making choices on how much you choose to let it envelop you in your day. And I think it's important to feel it, and I also think it's important to understand that you can't control everything, even how you feel. And I think it's okay sometimes to be like, I'm having a sad day. I'm feeling overwhelmed today. So I'm going to do something that's positive. If my mind's going to go to this place, I'm going to do something positive. I'm going to eat a healthy green salad. I'm going to have a good stretch. I'm going to call a friend and tell them I love them. I'm going to have a hot bath before bed. I'm going to make good choices. And I think for me, that's always helped me get through that time.
That's really great advice. And I think doing something physical too, like with your body, definitely helps your mind.
Yeah, big time, of course. Yeah.
What kind of music do you personally like to listen to, and what is your current favorite song?
Um, I like to listen to, like, often around the house, yeah, in the morning, in the evening, when I'm working. I like to listen to like very um meditative 432 hertz healing music, peaceful meditation music. Like, I'll go sometimes on Spotify and I'll find like Celtic healing music, just anything that really brings me down from the thoughts that race in my brain. I find it to be very healing. That's why I love making music. I find music to be a real universal healer. So, there's a great one called Healing Music Therapy. It's a great um, playlist I really like. And yeah, that's what I listen to. I don't really listen to a lot of words. I just listen to a lot of instrumentals.
That sounds really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, if you have a message for anyone listening that's struggling, if you want to say anything on that note.
Um, it is, I would say that it's completely human to struggle, and everybody struggles, whether they choose to share that or talk about it. It's, we all share that in common, and that you're not alone. Um, I think the biggest problem with with society is that people don't talk enough about the struggles that they're going through. So people attach shame to it. And I think if someone's going through a hard time, to just know that this too shall pass. And even though equally how you can feel like you're completely underwater and you can't breathe, you will get to a moment again in your life where you are soaring and flying and breathing life into others. And that is the ebb and flow of life. And unfortunately, that is what it is to live, is the ups and downs. And it's very traumatic and it's very intense, but that is the human experience. And I think if you're struggling, like, allow your body and your mind to experience that pain, because it's important to feel it. And it's also important to remember that you will get through it, and that it's just the nature, it's the laws of nature. When you look at the seasons change and how trees, their leaves will die and fall off, and then they will have new growth. It is so important to the process of growing to have moments of little deaths in your soul, to have times where you need to rejuvenate, or you need to kind of, rebuild across the board, self-esteem, physically, mentally. So there's a season for everything. And if you're going through a dark time, you're in a dark season, and it's okay. It's completely normal to go through that, and just talk to somebody that you love and have some tears. And who knows when it will pass, but it will pass. And that is what it is to be human. So that's what I'd say.
That's very good advice. Thank you for that. And I think that's about it. So thank you so much for talking to me. And it was so nice to talk to you.
It was so nice to talk to you. I can't wait to see you at my show.
I know.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely.
Thank you so much for being here.
You got it. I'll be watching.
All right. And I'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you later.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Our website is holdontilldawn.com and our email is holdontilldawn@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at holdontilldawn and on Facebook at Hold On Till Dawn Benefit Concert. See you next time.